Good day and welcome to another Motor Safety Association Safety Short. My name is Ken Kostanek and I'm a safety advisor with the Motor Safety Association of Saskatchewan. Today I will be talking to you about why you need to have emergency lighting in your facility and what to look for when you inspect, test, and maintain your emergency lighting on a monthly and annual basis. There are many regulatory requirements and standards that indicate a need to have emergency lighting installed in your facility. These are just some of the regulations and standards that need to be considered. You need to consider the Saskatchewan Employment Act, the Saskatchewan Occupational Health and Safety Regulations 2020. You need to consider the National Building Codes of Canada. You need to also consider the National Fire Code of Canada, the National Fire Protection Association Fire Code NFPA 1, and the Canadian Standards Association CSA C 22.2, and so on. However, the most important reason for having functioning emergency lighting in your facility is to ensure that all of your employees will be able to evacuate the building regardless of where they are in the facility in the event of an emergency situation. In Saskatchewan, Section 3-8, subsection A of the Saskatchewan Employment Act states, "Every employer shall ensure, insofar as is reasonably practicable, the health, safety, and welfare at work of all of the employer's workers." Occupational Health and Safety Regulation 3-1, subsection D, indicates that the general duty of the employer includes the provision of maintenance of a safe means of entrance to and exit from the place of employment. More specifically, Occupational Health and Safety Regulation 6-6, subsection 3 states, if failure of the regular lighting system is likely to create conditions dangerous to the health and safety of workers, the employer, contractor, or owner shall provide appropriate emergency lighting of at least 5 decacandles or 50 lux for the worksite and exit routes for the worksite. The definition for lux is that it is a measurement of how much light falls on a particular surface. This can be the result of multiple light bulbs with even some daylight mixed in. A particular extract from the National Building Code of Canada, Section 3.2.7, Lighting and Emergency Power System states, emergency lighting shall be provided at floor or tread level in exits and principal routes such as corridors, hallways, and stairwells, providing access to an exit in an open floor area. So how many emergency lights are needed in a facility? To answer that question, one should instead ask, where do I need emergency lighting? The regulations have more to do with ensuring sufficient lighting along the path of egress in any structure rather than assuming that a certain number of lights would be adequate. Thus, the size and layout of your building, the location of the corridors, stairwells, and doorways leading to exits and exits themselves will all determine where emergency lighting is needed. This, along with the length of the corridors and the size of the rooms and open spaces, will determine how many light sources are needed in each area to provide sufficient lighting for safe and orderly evacuation during failure of power and normal lighting. OH&S Regulation 3-12 and 3-17, along with the National Fire Code of Canada and the National Fire Protection Association, indicates that all emergency lighting shall be inspected at intervals not greater than 1 month, and self-contained emergency lighting shall be inspected not greater than 1 month to ensure that the emergency lighting will function upon failure of the primary power supply. Self-contained emergency lighting shall be tested by a competent person from an approved outside agency, such as a fire safety company, at intervals not greater than 12 months to ensure that the unit will provide emergency lighting for a duration equal to the design criteria of the emergency lighting based on the facility size. This duration of the illumination could be from 30 minutes to 1.5 hours under simulated power failure conditions. This duration will also be based on how many floors the building has. Let's take a look and inspect the emergency light. Using a site-specific inspection form or checklist that lists each emergency light on site, let's check each emergency light for any physical damage and note any damage on the inspection form or checklist. Let's also check the AC or charge lamp indicator, if applicable, to see if the unit is in good working condition and if any faults are being displayed by the indicators. Again, note any faults on the inspection form or checklist. Now let's test the emergency lights for its functional ability. Press the test button or switch for 30 seconds to test the integrity of the battery and its lights. Note on the inspection form or checklist if the lights do not activate or if any issues with the lights fading after activation during the 30-second test occurs. After this, we can check to see if the alignment of the lights beams are suitable and adjust if necessary. Document that each emergency light was inspected and tested using the site-specific inspection form or checklist. Alert the proper staff members within your organization so they can address any noted deficiencies after the completion of the inspection and testing. These noted deficiencies should be repaired as soon as possible by a competent person within or outside your organization. Ensure that the date is noted on the inspection form or checklist when the repair is completed. Someone within your organization should follow up on the repair to ensure that the deficiencies identified during the inspection and testing were in fact rectified. So in conclusion, we are all now aware of what is required for emergency lighting in your facilities and how often the emergency lights should be inspected and tested. Ensure that records are kept of the inspection and testing, along with any maintenance and repairs performed on the emergency lighting. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact the Motor Safety Association of Saskatchewan at 1-306-721-0688 or by email at info@motorsafety.ca, and we will be more than happy to assist you. Until then, have a great day and be safe.